Okay, so in the last class we started with this chapter, uh, list manipulation. Okay, so in that we have seen already selection sort. So, uh, what do we do in selection sort? Can anyone explain in simple words? So, what is algorithm in selection sort? Anyone? Otherwise, I have to ask by name then. Yes, Arzeep, you can tell.
So we can say that in selection sort, sir, at every sir iteration step, we can say that the smallest element is filled at the topmost place, and in the ascending order, the array gets swapped, means the list.
Right. So, like what we do, we have an unordered list, or then we first select the minimum element and we interchange it with the first element in the list. Again, after leaving first element, so we'll ignore the first element. Then in the remaining part of the list, we'll second the smallest. We will select the smallest element, and then we interchange it with the second one, and so on. So this
Yes.
was the selection sort, yes. And now we'll start. Next is bubble sort. Okay. So this you have done in last class. Okay, selection sort you have done in last class. So like in the what we do, simply we select the smallest value and interchange it with the first value in the list. Okay, and we do so on. Like we find the entry with the smallest value out of remaining entries and interchange it with the second value, and so on. We do like that. So this process is called selection sort. And next we have bubble sort. So in that, do you have any idea about bubble sort? Anyone? Like in data structure, you might have seen this. I think all these were already in data structure. So in the your data structure course, you might have seen this sorting and searching algorithms. So this was selection sort, okay? And next is bubble sort. So anyone would like to explain in simple words what is the meaning of bubble sort? This selection sort we have seen, okay? This was the program we have also done in last class. You know, we find the minimum index, interchange it with the first one, and we keep doing that. You know, ith index is interchanged, ith value at ith index in interchange with value at minimum index. So this we have done. Next I will start bubble sort. So no one has idea? Okay. So what is in that? Just see here. So in each iteration, we compare values in the adjacent positions. So we'll compare in adjacent positions and interchange them if they are out of order. So for example, so again this is sorting technique. So we will have a list of elements. Elements may be like integer or string, or so we have to sort them. So for that, suppose we have like, so suppose you have a list, assume like 8, 7, 2, 4, okay, and 1. Suppose this is the list containing these 5 elements, and we want to sort it using bubble sort. Okay, so how can we do that? So for that, we will do what? Will so index are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So first we'll see this last two value. So at index 3, 4. So what we do in this bubble sort? We compare values in adjacent positions and interchange them if they are out of order. Okay, so like adjacent positions, so we'll start from this right, at index this n minus 1. So if length of list is n, so index will be 0 to n minus 1. So like here length is 5, so indices are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we'll see this 4 and 1 and we'll compare it. So 4 is less than 1, no. So I mean, it is not in ascending order, so we'll interchange it. So what we'll do, so here we write 1 here and 4 here, and keep rest element as it is, like 2, 7, 8 as it is. Okay, and so you compared third and fourth index. Now you compare this. So this is fourth index, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so we'll compare this second and third. Okay, adjacent you have to compare. So it is 2, it is 1. So now 2 is less than 1. No, this is not in ascending order. This is out of order. So we have to interchange it. So we'll interchange it. Okay. And we'll keep others as it is. So 4 will be as it is. And here 7, 8 will be as it is. Okay. So now, so 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So now we'll compare this index, it's 1 and 2. Okay. So again, this is out of order. So you will interchange it. So 1 here and 7 here, and keep remaining as it is. So 8, 2, 4. Okay, and now we will compare this 0, 1. मतलब values at index 0, 1. So 1 and 8, again this is out of order, so you have to interchange it. So 1, 8, 7, 2, 4. Okay, so this is the first iteration actually. So what we did is first iteration. So we had to compare the adjacent values. Okay, so we have to compare adjacent values, adjacent positions, and if they are out of order, then we'll interchange it like we were doing. So after comparing adjacent positions, and if it is in ascending order, it's okay. If not, then you will interchange it. So it's first iteration. In second iteration, what you will do? Same thing, but you will now ignore this, the first position. So after the first iteration, what is the result? What we get? So you can note one thing, that after first iteration, we get the smallest number at the leftmost position. So in the list, the one was the smallest value, and we get it at the smallest position. So any list you take, after the first iteration, what you will get, the smallest value in the list you will get at the leftmost position at index 0. Now in the remaining part you will apply the same process. In the remaining part you will apply the same process, like 8724 is there, so you will apply the same process in the remaining part. Okay, so like 2 4, this is in order, you don't have to interchange it. Okay, so 2 4, this is in order, 7 8 1, so you don't have to change it. Now we are applying second iteration. So we compared last two, this last two, and they are in order because 2 is less than 4, so we didn't change. Now we'll compare these two. Okay, index 0 1 2 3 4. So zeroth index will not change now because we have done one iteration. So now we'll apply the process over rest elements of the list. So third and fourth index element will compare 2 4, it is in order, you don't need to change like we did here. Now we'll change 2 3 elements at index 2 and 3. So 7 and 2, 7 is less than 2, no, so we have to interchange it because we want to sort, we want to make it ascending order. So here the process is compare adjacent entries if n minus 1th a value at n minus 1th index is more than value at nth index, then you will interchange it. So keep 4 as it is, and here 8, 1 will be as it is. Okay. So you compared second and third. Now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you compare this first and second values at index 1 and 2. Value at index 1 and 2. Okay. So it is again out of order, so you have to interchange. 2, 8. Okay, 7, 4, 1. So after two second iteration completed here. Okay. So this was second iteration. So what you notice, the smallest value is at the index 0 or leftmost, second smallest is at index 1. Now you apply the same process over the left element, these remaining elements. Again, same process over this. So what will happen when you compare these two, 4 and 7? So this is out of order, you will interchange this. So 4, 7. Okay, 4, 7. Now this as it is. So 1, 2 you will not change. So 1, 2 will be as it is. And here 4, 7 you compared. Now you will compare 8, 4. So 8 and 4, 8 is less than 4. No, so you will interchange. So 4, 8, 7 as it is. Okay, so here you completed third iteration. Again in the fourth iteration, so now smallest, second smallest, third smallest. Now over this you will apply the same process. So 8 and 7 you will compare. There are only two elements in the remaining part. So 8 and 7 they are out of order, so you have to arrange it. So 7, 8, interchange it. 7, 8, 4, 2, 1. So now you can see we get the, so in the fourth iteration we get the sorted list. So now it is sorted 1, 2, 4, 7, 8. This is ascending order, so this is sorted. So we get the sorted list in the fourth iteration. There were length is 5. Okay, so length is 5 of the list, but we get in the fourth iteration we get that. So let's see the PPT. What is the process? Same thing they want to tell. So in each iteration, pass means iteration, we compare values in adjacent position and interchange them if they are out of order. So what is meaning of out of order? So it will explain here. To begin with, we have a list of n values. So suppose we have a list of n values, and the nth value and the n minus 1th value are compared. So nth value and n minus 1th value are compared and interchanged if the nth value is smaller than n minus 1th value. So both value will be interchanged if nth value is smaller than n minus 1th. Okay, so they are not in ascending, then you will interchange that two value, and then n minus 1th value and n minus 2th values are compared and interchanged if found out of order, and so on you will do like I have shown you the process. One more example I can show you, like for that. So suppose we have a list like suppose 3, 2, 7, 8. Okay, this is a list. So when you apply the process, so like it said, we'll compare the values in adjacent position and interchange. So adjacent position means here you will first compare 7, 8 from the right we are starting. Okay, so they are in order, you don't have to interchange it. Then we can interchange two. You will compare 2 and 7. They are in order, you don't have to interchange it. Then you will compare 3 and 2. They are not in order, so you have to interchange here. So 2 before and 3 later. So you have to interchange these two. They are not in order. And 7, 8. Okay. Now what do you see? After first iteration, you get a sorted list. So you don't need to apply the third iteration or fourth iteration. By the way, fourth iteration is not required here because length is 4. So only after 3 iteration it will be sorted. So in the first iteration only you get a sorted list. So don't need to apply second or third iteration. Okay. So we'll see the program for that also. So I think you got the concept of bubble sort. In the insertion sort, insertion sort later on. Earlier it was selection sort. In the selection sort, what we were doing, we were selecting the minimum element in the list, interchanging with first, then in the remaining elements, accepting the minimum. In the remaining, you are selecting minimum again, interchanging with second, and so on. This process was going on. In the bubble sort, what we are doing, we are comparing adjacent positions and interchange them if they are out of order. Comparing adjacent positions. We are starting from the end. This is algorithm, okay? So this you have seen. Next part. So in the first iteration, the smallest value will move to the front of the list. So you have seen when we apply the first iteration. So after comparing adjacent values at the end of first iteration, when you compare like n minus 1th, n minus 1th, n minus 2th, n minus 2, n minus 3, and so on, if you compare all, at the end you get a smallest value at the index 0, and on subsequent iterations it will be ignored. So like in this next iteration you will ignore the value, minimum value, which is at index 0 now. So in the second iteration we need to sort the remaining list of n minus 1 values, excluding the value at index 0. Okay, because you got the minimum number or minimum value at the index 0, so you will exclude that. In the remaining part you will repeat the process, like you will compare adjacent entries. Okay, after n minus 1 iterations the list will be completely sorted, like you have seen here. So now here in the fourth iteration we get the sorted list. So because length was 5, so if list contains 5 element, so after the n minus 1 iteration, so like 4 iteration, you will get the sorted list. So after n minus 1 iteration the list will be completely sorted and the algorithm will halt. So we start at index 5. So this index 5 is telling about this example. Okay, this example. Okay. So we'll start at index 5 and keep on comparing adjacent locations in order to move the smallest names to the beginning of the list. Okay. So we start at index 5 and keep on comparing adjacent locations in order to move the smallest name to the beginning of the list. So see here, this is the example. So we are performing first iteration here. The steps performed in the first iteration are as follows. So this we are performing in first iteration. Okay. So like this list contains names. Okay. This string Vijaya, Sanvi, Ruby, Jafar, Maya, and Anya. So like we'll start from here. So we'll compare Anya and Maya. So Anya is less than Maya, so it will be interchanged. So Anya came here. We compare Anya and Jafar. Anya is less than Jafar. It will be interchanged. So it will come here. We'll compare Anya and Ruby. So Anya is less than Ruby. Anya will come here. Interchange. Okay. Then Anya and Sanvi will compare. So Anya is less than Sanvi. So it will be interchanged. So less will be at the left position. Okay. Then we'll compare Anya and Vijaya after interchanging. So Anya will come to the left position. Anya will come to the left position. So you will get after first iteration, you will get the smallest value at the leftmost, like at index 0. Anya will come to index 0. Okay, this is actually directly program is given, but in the next iteration, what will happen? Anya will come here, and so if I write in the next iteration, what will happen? Matlab last after this, you will interchange it. So Anya will come here, then Vijaya, then same Sanvi, Ruby, Jafar, and Maya. Okay. So after first iteration, you get NA at the first place. Now in the remaining part, you will apply the same process. Okay, you will compare these two. If out of order, you interchange it. Compare these two in similar way. So the programs for that you will see. So we can see the program. Uh, so a bubble sort code. Okay. So we are defining a function bubble sort and list. This is a input argument, and n we have taken as the length of list minus 1. Then for I in range 0 to n, so for I in range 0 to n, so n is not included, so I can take value, I will start with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. And for j in range, so j will start from n and it will go till I. You know why? Because after first iteration you have to ignore the minimum value at index 0. After second iteration you have to ignore first two value, है ना? And so on, like that. So you will start from the end at n is the length of list minus 1. Okay, n is the length of list minus 1. And then it will come to I, and a minus 1 is why. So start and increment, the for loop and a range. So for I in range, start with n, end at I, and then with increment minus 1. So minus 1 is backward, you are coming from right to left. Then if list value at jth position or jth index is less than list value at j minus 1th index, so j minus 1th index is more, so it is out of order. Okay, it is not in ascending. So then you will interchange it. So value at jth index and value at j minus 1th index, you will interchange both. Okay, so you will interchange both. So if it is out of order, comparing adjacent values we are comparing. If it is out of order, you just interchange it and keep doing the process. So after first iteration for the I0, you will get first element, minimum element at the first position. Then after second iteration, you will get second minimum at second position, and so on. So here we are giving list input as user input, asking from user to input eval is keyword to enter list as an input. Then printing sort of calling the function bubble sort, printing list. So and then this is the main part. So I will show you this program. Mm, yes, so this is the program like I was showing you. So check here, we have this list. So better is see this program. So in the book they write this one, not returning, right? Bubble sort. So for I in range, so instead of n, they have written un. I have not given n. So I is in range 0 to length of list to minus 1. Then j is in range length of list to minus 1 to I minus 1. And then again, if adjacent elements are out of order, interchange it and just then list 2 we are giving as input, and then after the output, so 3 2 4 8, and the output is 2 3 4 is sorted list. Okay, so this is the bubble sort. You compare adjacent positions and interchange them if they are out of order. Okay, in the selection sort, you were finding first minimum value, then you were interchanging with the first one. So you should know the difference. Like after many sorting techniques, you will be confused. So you have to remember, so which name correspond to which algorithm. So like, what is meaning of selection sort? Selection sort, the first we did, finding minimum element first, then interchange with the value at index 0, find second minimum, interchange with the value at index 1, and so on. That was selection sort. Bubble sort is, you first compare adjacent positions and then you interchange them, है ना? So after first iteration, the minimum value will come to the leftmost position, second minimum will come to the index at index 1, na, at second position, and so on. So that is a bubble sort. So you please write this code, and I will ask your name to share. So just write it as a small code. You just write it. You may rename it as name if you want. Like the book does. Or if I explain you the process here, so like for this example only, if we do it, so it is a list we are giving as input is 3248. So what is saying? This we are defining the function this bubble sort, and n is the length of list 2 minus 1. So n, if you write here, so length is 4, 4 minus 1, 3. For I in range 0 to n. So I in range 0 to n is 3. So I can take value 0, 1, 2. Okay. So in the first iteration, what we will do? I will be 0. Okay. So I is 0 in the first iteration. So for I in range 0 to n, and for j in range, it will start with n. Okay, so n is 3. So j in range, so we are doing for the first iteration, I is equal to 0. So j in range n we have is 3 to I here is 0. Okay, with increment minus 1. So like j will be 3 in the beginning, then 2, then 1. Okay, so it is 0, 1, 2, 3. These are indices. And now what we'll do, we'll compare a list value at j minus 1th index. So first j is 3, so j minus 1 will be 2. So we will compare the value at second index and value at third index. So value at second index is more than this, no, so you don't need to interchange. So if condition is false, when j is equal to 3, you check, you put j is equal to 3, and this if condition is false. So this if condition is false when j is equal to 3, when j is equal to 3, if condition is false, so you don't need to interchange because it is in order. Okay, 4 in it, this is in order, that's why you don't need. So it is saying if j minus 1 is one index number is more than that, but is not more. So okay, when j is 2, so list value at j minus 1. So 2 minus 1, first index, and value at second index. So now we are comparing these two, 2 and 4. It is again in order, so you don't need to interchange. So this if condition is false, then we'll compare when j is 1. So when j is 1, so we'll compare value at 0th index and value at first index. So we'll compare these two, value 3 and 2. And yes, so list 2 at 0th index is more than list 2 as first index. Yes. So means what? Okay. So what? Once let me explain this. So this is this condition is true for here when j is equal to 1 for that. So you need to interchange it. So after that you have to interchange that. So 0th and first index will interchange. So 2 here, 3 here, then 4, and then 8. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 8. So after first iteration, you get this one. And you can note one thing, that after the first iteration, this is a sorted list, like I said you already. So, but this actually this program will perform second iteration also. It will take I is equal to 1. Although if condition will be false in all the values of j. Okay, for any j, when I is 1, so like we are performing second iteration. So for any value of j, this if condition will be false, so you don't need to interchange because it is already sorted list. Where I is equal to 2, it will perform, and you don't need to interchange because if condition is false. Okay, so this is the one program. But like, if you don't want to perform these two operation or these two iteration, because you already sorted the list in the list gets sorted in first iteration only, so why do we perform second and third iteration? So for that we have modified bubble sort. Okay, so what we will do, if list gets sorted, we just stop more iterations to save time, so it will take less time in that. So please you write it, everyone. I think I have written. So Arshdeep have done only others, so it's not too much to write. Just write this code. This is only 10, 15, 12 line. Okay, Asdeep, Avipsa, and Mayank. Only three. What about others? So you have to call the name only. Yeah? Alexander, Sahil, Shreya,
Yes, sir.
आपने किया, ये कोड हो गया आपका?
Yes, sir.
ओके, यू कैन शेयर स्क्रीन.
Yes, sir. Just 1 minute. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, yes. Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you, Shreya. Okay, so this was this. Now, suppose you want to stop irrelevant iterations or unnecessary iterations. So we can modify the code like this. So what we have done here, same code is there. Okay, everything is same. Just we have introduced the swap. So wherever swap is not required, like in this, for this example, after one iteration, swap is not required. So you can stop and break the loop there. So like here, we are defining a function bubble sort. Input is list 3, and then n is the length of list 3 minus 1. So n we are taking as a list 3 length minus 1. For I in range 0 to n, same problem there, just we are introducing one variable swap here. So swap is false initially, and same program, if j in range n, we are starting from n till I with increment minus 1, and if list 3 value at jth index is less than list 3 value at j minus 1th index. Okay, so list 3 value at jth index is less than list 3 value at j minus 1th index. So means list these two adjacent elements are out of order, they are not in order, like not in ascending order. So swap is true, so we are assigning swap as true. So if swap is required, then we'll write true. Okay, now we are swapping these two elements. If they are out of order, then we are swapping the element at jth index and element at j minus 1th index. So this was the program there. Now we are entering, if swap is false, in that case break. So when swap is not required in that loop, you just break. So like if it is already ordered, already you get a sorted list, so you stop there. So like we have example here, I have taken this list 3 from the book. So these are the elements in the list, and it will be ordered. So ordered, you know the rule, lexicographical rule. So according to that, it will be ordered. So ordered list is Anya is the minimum, then Maya, then Rekha, then Ruby, Sanya, Vijaya, Jafar. In the number, like same number I have taken 3 to 4 8, so you get 2 3 4 8. Okay, so this is the updated modified bubble sort. So only new thing here is this swap. Okay, rest all are same. So you please update it. Okay, you write this code also. So in the last code you can update, or you can write new one, just copy paste. Okay, so next I will ask Anuja.
Yes, sir.
Have you done this one, or the last one, or this one?
Sir, I've done the next one, list 3.
Okay, this one. Modified bubble
Yes.
sort. This one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
you
sir.
can share screen. Yeah. Okay, so you are getting. But Anya should be there. 1 minute. Something is wrong now. Anya should be at the first.
But the last two lines is missing.
Yes, yes, something is wrong because.
Okay, sir, I'll fix it.
Yes, yes, check it because something is wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm also getting right now. Yeah, Anya is the smallest. So you just check. Yes. But good you tried at least, you know. Others are. Yes, Ujjwal. उज्जवल जमुआर एक्चुअली तुम लास्ट क्लास में भी लास्ट में बोलते हो, आज अटेंडेंस नहीं रहेगा बाद में, जिनका मिस हो गया। ओके, अनस मुराद। संग्राम। संजीवनी।
So,
हो गया आपका ये?
yes, sir.
ओके, ठीक है, आई विल गिव यू टर्न, आई मीन गिव यू चांस लेटर। पुष्पांजलि। अनिल।
यस सर,
आपका हुआ ये?
कर रहा हूँ।
आज हो जाएगा?
यस सर, हो
करो
जाएगा।
करो। मनीष। मयंक।
यस सर।
हो गया आपका?
सर ऊपर वाला हुआ है।
अच्छा, ये लास्ट पार्ट, ये।
हाँ ये वाला है।
तो इसमें थोड़ा सा उसमें एडिट किया है, मैं दो हमने लिस्ट दिए, यू मे रिमूव वन, है ना। इसमें हमने क्या किया है?
यस।
ओके, सो इसको अपडेट कर लो। जस्ट यू क्या किया हमने
हाँ
इसको?
सर
जस्ट
अपडेट करा।
वी जस्ट इंट्रोड्यूस हेयर स्वैप वेरिएबल। देन ये तो दो इनपुट दिया, यू मे गिव वन इनपुट, नो प्रॉब्लम, यू मे रिमूव इट, और इफ यू वांट टू कीप दैट यू मे कीप दैट, है ना, यू मे रिमूव इट।
ओके सर 2 मिनट करके दिखाता हूँ।
हाँ ठीक है। शिवम। साहिल।
यस सर।
हो गया आपका?
सर कर रहे सर।
ओके ठीक है, करो भाई इसको। फिर नेक्स्ट वी हैव, इसको जल्दी कंप्लीट करो। सो लाइक व्हाट वी हैव डन टिल नाउ, selection sort, and then this is bubble sort. So next we'll start insertion sort. So these all are sorting techniques, okay, and they are different in some sense, okay, not all are same. So the work all do the sorting, but like in theoretically you may try to find their complexity and all that. So which one is more efficient, like that, है ना? So selection sort is not much efficient, but we will not discuss that theoretically, okay, we are just discussing the programming.
सर
Yes, yes.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है, लाइक मींस थियोरेटिकल नहीं है। यूजिंग जैसे जब जुपिटर या फिर कोलैब ये सब यूज करते हैं तो हम लोग बिकॉज जैसे सेम ही फंक्शन डिफाइन किया बबल सॉर्ट ये आपका जो 2 और 3 में, सर बट वो ओवरलोड लोडिंग की तरह उसको ट्रीट नहीं करेगा क्या? बिकॉज क्योंकि पाइथन तो ओवरलोडिंग करता नहीं है, क्या उसको डायरेक्ट एक न्यू फंक्शन मानेगा या फिर बिकॉज वो तो पहले वाला कर्नल ऑलरेडी लर्न हो चुका है ना।
अच्छा, यू आर सेइंग दैट ये जो हमने बबल सॉर्ट यहाँ डिफाइन किया है
यस सर,
और
यस
यहाँ
सर।
पे डिफाइन किया, सो दोनों सेम लेगा क्या?
सर वही थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन मिस अचानक स्ट्राइक
तो
किया
ऐसे
था
हम
सर,
लोग
क्या?
डिफरेंट कुछ किया भी नहीं है, सेम ही है, बस यहाँ पे। अच्छा, तो यू वांट, ओके ओके, गॉट योर पॉइंट। सो लाइक इसको हम ट्राई कर सकते हैं, उसमें तुम कर सकते हो, आइडियली में कर लो
सर
अगर ऐसा तो।
बिकॉज सर आइडियली या फिर जैसे वीएस में इस समय यूज करेंगे तो सेम ही, क्योंकि आपका एक ही प्रोग्राम में तो ओवरलोडिंग नहीं होगा, बट बिकॉज जुपिटर या फिर ये सब में तो
हाँ,
उसको
हो सकता है,
ओवरलोडिंग ट्रीट।
आई एग्री विथ यू बिकॉज समटाइम्स इट हैपेंस, है ना?
यस सर।
यस यस, सो इट मे बी प्रॉब्लम इन दैट जुपिटर, इट मे बी, बट तो उसके लिए तुम है ना आइडियली यूज कर सकते हो, उसमें क्या अलग अलग रन कर सकते हो।
यस सर, यस यस सर।
But mostly what happens, it takes the recent one. Sometimes you define two things, so it will take the recent
Yes
one.
sir.
Like we have seen in last chapter, when you define the same function twice, so it will consider only last one, so recent one.
Yes sir, yes
Yes.
sir.
So I hope everyone is done with this. Okay, so selection sort we have seen, and we have seen bubble sort, two things. So again, I'm repeating, in selection sort, what we do, like in interview, like if you see the placement interview, they may ask you the difference. So what is selection sort? What is that bubble sort? So, so you should know what is algorithm in both, how both are different. Okay. So in selection sort, we are finding minimum, then we are interchanging with the first one, and so on. In here, we are comparing adjacent entries, adjacent values or adjacent positions, and then if they are not in order, then we are interchanging. And we are doing this process so on. So at last, you will get the sorted list. So next we have insertion sort. The third sorting technique we are discussing, insertion sort. So what happens in this? So like after है ना, there are 5 techniques. So in this chapter, how many sorting techniques you will see? So see in the content, check here. So they are selection sort, bubble sort, insertion sort, and last they have merge sort and quick sort. So all are sorting techniques. So like after that, if you don't revise it again and again, you will be confused. So what is work of selection sort? What is work of quick sort? So you will be confused. So for that you have to revise again and again, and you have to practice a lot. So you have to remember selection sort means this, bubble sort means this, insertion sort means this, merge sort means this, quick sort means this. Okay, this you have to remember. So now we'll discuss third one. So third sorting technique, that is insertion sort. So what we do, again we will have a list, okay, unordered list or unsorted list, and we want to sort it. So so what we do in insertion sort, the list is logically divided into two parts. So here list is divided into two parts. The left part is the sorted part, and the right part is the unsorted part. So here we actually, the input list what will give, or the list we want to sort, that will divide into two part logically, like one part, left part will be sorted part, and right part will be unsorted part. So left part will be like in ascending order, and then right part will be unsorted part, comprising the elements yet to be arranged in sorted order. Okay, so that we need to arrange in sorted order. So in each iteration we increase the length. Okay, so in each iteration we increase the length of sorted part by 1. So in each iteration what we do, we increase the length of sorted part by 1 in the following manner. So like you have seen, you divide the list into so I will show you by example. So like here if I write, so see, suppose I give you a list. Okay, so suppose the list we have is like this: 1 2 3. Okay, then 2 8 9 6, suppose. Okay, so this is a list. So you can check this part, you can see this is in ascending order, and the other part, this is not in ascending order. So this is sorted. Okay, and this is unsorted. Anything you can write, like suppose you say okay 8 here, then you write like 7 1 3 2 5 4 8 here again. So here only this is the sorted part, okay, and the rest this will be unsorted part. Okay, this is only sorted part and this is unsorted part, maybe because sorted means we are considering here increasing order. So maybe maybe sorted part have three elements here. Here is one, maybe two elements. We may have a list where you will have like two, three, then one, five, six, seven, like that. Okay. So this is sorted part. This is unsorted part. Like that can happen. So what we are doing? So in each iteration, we increase the length of the sorted part by one. So like from the element you will take, like you element you will select from unsorted part, and you will insert it in the sorted part at right position. So like at last you want a sorted list, whole list arranged in a sorted order. So you will take element from unsorted part and you will insert that element into the sorted part at the right position. Right position means to be, we have to sort that element. So in following manner. So what is manner? So insert the first element from the unsorted part. So you take one first element from unsorted part and then insert that into the sorted part. So there are two parts you have already seen. There are two parts in the list, original list we have, and then you take the element, first element from the unsorted part and insert it in the sorted part at the correct position. So what is correct position? Like to make it ascending order. So to find the correct position of the value to be inserted, now you need to find the correct position where like the one number you selected from the unsorted part or the first number you selected from unsorted part. For example, in this example, if I discuss, so look here. So like we have 1, 2, 3, and here is 2, 8, 9, 6. Here I'm discussing. So this is the sorted part, left part, and right part is the unsorted part. So first element is 2 here. So you will take 2. Now you want to insert 2 into this sorted part. So after each iteration, the length of sorted part will increase by 1. So 2 you have to insert. So where you will insert? So you cannot insert at place of 3. So you have to insert before 3, around before 2 or after 2 here. So like it will be after that 1, 2, 2, 3, like that you have to make. Okay. So for that, what you'll do, you will shift this 3 one position right, and there you will place 2. Okay. Again, like here you see, so here you have in this example I'm discussing now. So here if I discuss, so like 7 is the first element in the unsorted part. So you have to put it into a sorted part. So what you will do, you have to place before 8. So 8 you have to shift one position right, and then you have to place 7 before 8. In similar manner, like 1 you will select, so after sorting that you have to place there. So to make it sorted. Okay. So to find the correct position of values to be inserted, we compare it with values in the sorted part. So like one element you will select from first element from unsorted part, you will compare with the elements of values in the sorted part, and then you will find the correct position. So to find correct position of values to be sorted, to be inserted, we compare it with values in the sorted part. So starting from the rightmost value of the sorted part, and shift each value to the right, like each value in the sorted, okay, to the right by one position. So you will shift to right position to make one position for that element, until the correct position is found. Okay, so like one example is here. So book explains example in this way, like elements are string. So Anya, Sanvi, Vijaya, Jafar, Maya, Ruby. Okay. So this is the list. So here you can check this part 0, 1, 2, 3. These indices are already sorted. And if you read ABCD, then A, after A, S will come, then V will come, then Z will come. So this is the sorted part. And these two, last two element values are unsorted. So you will select that first element in the unsorted and you have to insert it in that. So first you have to find the correct position. Okay, so like M comes where? PQRS na? LMN. So I think before Sanya, na? So you have to place Maya after Anya before Sanvi. Okay, so Maya M है ना, M comes before S after A, so you have to place Maya between Anya and Sanvi. So this is the correct position you have to. So for that what you have to do, you have to shift Jafar by one position right, Vijay by one position right, Sanvi by one position right, and then there at that empty position you have to insert Maya. Okay, so this way you'll do. So let's see what it writes in PPT. So in this example, the left sorted part, a gray portion, this one, comprises element at indices 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. The right unsorted part, that is Y position, this one, right unsorted part, comprise the elements at indices 4 and 5. Comprise the elements at indices 4 and 5. Okay, so this 4 and 5, these are unsorted part, and their indices 0, 1, 2, 3, these are sorted part. So first element you will select. So let's delete it. We need to insert element list 4. So like element at fourth index in the list at correct position. So that is Maya. So Maya you have to insert it in the correct position now, because at the end we want a sorted list. So this you have to select and you have to put in correct position. So I have tell you what is the correct position. Here you have to make. So first you will compare, and how will you know? So you will compare Maya with Jafar, then Maya with Vijay, like that, and you will see where it will fit. So we need to insert that value, list value at fourth index, that is Maya, at the correct position. As Maya is less than Jafar, okay. So here you can see this Maya and Jafar we are comparing. So Maya is less than Jafar. So Jafar has to be right and Maya has to be left because Maya is less. So as Maya is less than Jafar, we shift Jafar one position right. So what we'll do, we'll shift Jafar one position right. But when you shift, this will be removed. So you have to store it, you know, first. So like we shift Jafar one position right. But before we do so, we must save Maya in the temporary variable. Okay, say temp. The modified list is, so like in temp variable you are taking that value Maya. Okay, and now we are shifting that value you replaced by Jafar. Okay, so Jafar shifted by one position right. So how will you shift that? I mean, at that position you will replace Jafar, and the Maya is stored in temporary variable. Now you will be searching correct position for Maya, and there you will replace temp. So again, that Maya will be compared with Vijay. So let's see here. Next, we compare the value of variable temp. So temp is Maya, okay, with less 2, next element. So first you compared Maya with Jafar. So Maya is less than Jafar. So Jafar has to be right of Maya. So we shifted Jafar by one position. Now we are comparing Maya with Vijaya. So Maya is less than Vijaya. So we shift Vijaya one position right. So now we'll shift Vijaya one position right. Okay. So check 1 minute. Where here, na? Yeah. So Maya is less than Vijaya. We shift Vijaya one position right. So Vijaya will shift one position right. Jafar is shifted one already. So by her right. And then we'll compare again. So currently the modified list is this, right? And then next we compare the value of variable temp, that is Maya, with Sanvi. So this Sanvi we are comparing. And so here we are comparing with Sanvi because Maya is less than Vijaya. So Vijaya has to be right of Maya. And then we are comparing Maya with Sanvi. So again, Maya is less than Sanvi also. So ABCD, you know, na? That order, you know how we are telling, right, less or more. So Maya is less than Sanvi. So we shift Sanvi one position right. So Sanvi has to be one position right, the right of Maya. So modified list is this. Now we'll compare Maya with Anya. And you Anya is less than Maya. So Anya has to be left and Maya has to be right. So Maya has to be placed between Anya and Sanvi. So at this position you will replace temp. So next we compare Maya with list 0. So that is Anya. And the Maya is greater than Anya. Okay. So Maya is greater than Anya. So we do not need to shift Anya. Okay. So Anya need not be shift. We do not need to shift because Anya is less than Maya. That's why. And Maya can be now placed at index 1. So at index 1 you will place Maya. So modified list is this. So what you did, but this was the first you what you did, just you replaced Maya as the correct position, but Ruby you also have to do the same thing with Ruby. Okay, so now Maya has been placed at correct position. Same thing we have to do with the Ruby now. So Ruby you have to place at the correct position. So MNOPQRS है ना. So Ruby will come here na between Maya and Sanvi. So again you will compare Ruby, you will store as temp variable, compare with Jafar. So Ruby is less than Jafar, so Jafar has to shift one right position. Ruby will be compared with Vijaya, then Vijaya is Ruby is less than Vijaya, so Vijaya has to shift one right position. Again we'll compare Ruby and Sanvi. So Ruby is less than Sanvi, so Sanvi has to shift one right position. And you will compare Maya and Ruby. So Maya is less than Ruby. So Ruby has to be right position of Maya, but Ruby is less than Sanvi. So in between Maya and Sanvi you have to place. So Sanvi you will shift by Jafar shift by one position right, Vijay you shift by one position right, Sanvi you shift by one position right, and there you place Ruby. And then at last you will get sorted list. And the code is here. So what we were explaining, now we are writing the same thing in the code format. So now we'll understand this code. Okay, and then next is searching starts. So we'll first focus here. So we are defining function insertion sort. So here, yes. So we are defining a function insertion sort. Input I'm taking as list 4. Okay. So for I in range 1 to, so I will take one example and explain this. Okay. So better is to take some simple example and number. So I will take a small list. Okay. So like 3, 2, okay, 4, 8 I have taken. This you take. So what we are doing, list 4 I have taken this one. And for I in range 1 to length of list 4. So first let me read the code first. Then I will implement this code over this example. And we can also see in Python tutor. Okay. So every program you can see in Python tutor. It will show you each step execution. Okay, so what we are doing for I in range 1 to, we are starting from 1. Okay, 1 to length of list 4. Okay, so 0 1 2 3, because j we are assigning my I minus 1, that's why. So temp variable we take a list 4 of list 4 value at ith index. Okay, so ith index, like we are starting from here 1 now. So in the first iteration, that this will be this value at first index will be the temp variable, and after that it will be increasing. And j we are taking I minus 1. Okay, so you first see the code, then I will show you the implementation. So while j is more than equal to 0, so j is I minus 1. So j is more than equal to 0, and list 4 j means jth index in list 4. So element at jth index in list 4 is more than temp. Okay, so currently if you see, so we are checking the j is I minus 1. Okay, j is I minus 1, j is just one index before I, and temp we have taken value at ith index. So if value at jth index is more than value at ith index, okay, and j is less than I, so it is not in order. So they are telling out of order. It means out of order. So j is less than I, but value at j is more than value at I index. So it is out of order. Like here, if you fix I1, then you will see. So if it is out of order, then what you will do? But it is unsorted. So one thing you can notice from here, so we are taking element unsorted element. Okay, out of order means unsorted. For the sorted, you don't need to interchange, or you have to modify. So we are taking from the unsorted. Okay, you take that element here, and if that element is more than temp, then what you are doing? So we are doing what? Look here, element at j plus 1th index, you are assigning two element at jth index. So what is meaning of this line? So jth element index you are assigning to j plus 1, means shifting one position right, shifting one right position, or shifting to one right, na? Shifting to right position. Which element? The element at jth index, because that is more, na, and temp is less. So temp is less, and that is on the right side of that jth index, so you want to bring it to the left side. So that's why you are shifting that element at the jth position to the right side, and then j is being decreased by 1. Okay, j we are decreasing by 1, and now that at j plus 1th index you insert that temp. So temp is assigned to that j plus 1th index. So actually you decrease j by 1 here, you have written j plus 1. So that position you are actually one shifted right position, and then temp you are inserting before that, and this process will be running till j is more than equal to 0 and till list gets sorted. Okay. Acha, I have written in this manner, but book don't write this manner. Like I have written return list 4, but the book don't write, so book will be writing the next part. I will show you implementation. Before that, they write the code. So book take this like this here. So they don't write a return list. Okay. Same thing is here. Okay. So example I was considering 3248. I will implement this. So okay, let's implement this over this example. So in the beginning, I is in range 1 to length of this. So I in range 1 to length of list. So here length is 4. So I will take value 1, 2, 3. Okay, end is not included in the for loop, in the range when right. So end is not included. Start 1, end 4, end is not included. So I is 1, 2, 3. So let's start with the first iteration when I is equal to 1. Start for the when I is equal to 1. So I is equal to 1. So temp we are assigning here list at ith index. So in the list, the position at ith index. So position at 0, 1, 2, 3. To ith index, I is 1. So first index value is 2. So temp is 2 currently. Okay. Temp is currently 2. And j is I minus 1. So here j will be 0. And while j is more than 0, so yes, j is more than equal to 0, yes, it is there. And list value at jth index, so j is 0, so list value at jth index means 3. So 3 is more than temp is 2. So it is true or false? It is false. It is true now. It is true. So 3 is more than 2, it is true. So it is true. So if this condition is true, so while loop will be executed. Okay. So what I checked, this condition I was checking. List value at jth index, j is 0. So at 0th index 3 is more than temp is 2. So temp was ith index value, I is 1 here. So this while loop will be executed, and what we are doing here, the value at j plus 1th index. So value at j plus 1th index, j is 0. So j plus 1 is being the first index, which is 2, is equal to list. So that will be assigned there, okay? List 1 at j. List 1 at j means j is 0. So that 3 will be placed here. So what we are doing, look here. So I'm changing this. So temp is 2 is stored in the temp, and in place of 2 you are writing 3 now. So after one iteration you have this. One iteration means after executing this line. So I'm executing this only. So till here. So this is like that. So 2 you are stored in temp, because this is here sorted part is only this one first, and the rest is unsorted part. 248 is unsorted part. So that's why we are doing that. So 3 shifted to one position, right? Temp is stored in 2. You know what you have to do? You have to place 2 in before 3. So that's why we did that. Now in place of this 3, you will insert 2. So what we are doing? J is equal to j minus 1. So j decreased by 1. So j, okay. So what will happen? J is minus 1. Okay. So what will happen here? Sorry. J, what is j here? J was 0. So you will, okay, no problem. So j is minus 1. And here we are writing j plus 1. No? That's why no problem. So list for j plus 1. So j plus 1 means j is 0 and j plus 1. So minus 1 plus 0. So at 0th index, 1 minute. So what we are saying is j is minus 1 here. No problem. So minus 1 plus 1. So it will be 0. So at 0th index, you are assigning temp. So temp is 2 and temp 2 is assigning at 0th position, 0th index. So 2, 3, 4, 8. So after this, you are getting this. So while loop is executed, after the execution of while loop, you will get this. Okay. And you know what? After that, again, this process will start. Okay. So like this loop completed, then it will again, I will be, this is I is equal to 1. So we were doing just first iteration. So after the first iteration, this list get this 2, 3, 4, 8. And like for this example, after just one iteration, we are getting the sorted list, but it will not be happen for every time. Okay. So here just is happening by chance. So in the next iteration, what will happen? I will be taking value 2. So again, so this is sorted now. So you don't need to interchange. So this is sorted part. There is no unsorted part here. So you already got the list. Okay, so that will be executed, but it will not create difference. What if we take some other example, some different examples? Okay, let me take some other example. For example, if I take the values like it was 2, 3, okay, and 8, 7. Suppose this example I take. So what do you see? This is the sorted part. 2, 3 is the, or 2, 3, 8. Oh, 3. So first 3 is the sorted part, and only this is the unsorted part. But if you implement it, it will implement in a similar way, but this condition will get false when you take I is equal to 1. So check, when you take I is equal to 1, in that case j will be 0, and you will be checking temp is nothing but for here. So temp is nothing but list at 0th ith 1 was first position, and this is j is 0 in first iteration I'm talking. So list 0. So list 0 at index 0 is more than 1? No. So what I'm saying, list at index 0. So it is 2. 2 is more than at 1? No. False na? This is false. So while loop will not be executed here. Again, you will increase I by 2. So I was 1 here. I is 2. Still you will check. So I is 2. That you will check whether this position j is 1 less than I. So 3 is more than 8? No. So again it will create you false. 3 is more than 8? No. So I is equal to 2, it will not create difference. Again you will take I is equal to 3. But the while loop, this while condition will be false, so it will not execute this part. That is part of the while loop. And when I is 3, so when I is equal to 3, so what you will check? I is equal to 3, then j is 2, 0 1 2. So I is 3 here. Okay, 0 1 2 3. So I is 3 means 7. Here is value at 3 7. So value at index j, so it will be 8. 8 is more than temp is value at ith index. I is 3 here, so 8 is more than 7. Yes, so now this condition is true, so you have to implement this part. So you can see this was the sorted part 2 3 8, and only 7 is unsorted part. So now here you will implement this while loop, and it will do what? So I will show you one by one. So we are doing for I is equal to 3. Okay, we are doing for I is equal to 3. So in that case j is 2. Again starting I'm here. Okay, so I is 3, then j is I minus 1 2. And while j is more than or equal to 0, yes, and list value at jth index. So j is 2, so at second index 8 is more than 7. Yes, temp is 7. So temp is 7. Okay, temp is 7, and value at jth index 8. 8 is more than 7. Yes, so it will execute. So then what will happen? J plus 1th index value. So just that value at jth index will be assigned at j plus 1th index. So you are assigning that. So jth index means index 2. So 8 will be shifted one position right. So this line means shifting one right position, na? Shifting one right position. This line means we are shifting just one right position. So 8 will be shifted right position. So 8 8 3 2. This is the list. And after this line j is j minus 1. So j will become 1 then, and 1 plus 1 again 2. So list 4. मतलब list at fourth in j is 2 now. One, so again same thing, at second index you insert temp. So temp is assigned at second index. So this temp was 7, and that will be assigned at this 7 8 3 2. So your list now is 2 3 7 8. So that 7 is taken as temp variable, 8 is shifted right, and then 7 is placed at 8th position. This we do. Achha, you may visualize it in the Python tutor. So if I show you, so like the example we are doing, I will do for the same first. So remove it, and we have taken 3 2 7 8 now, 2 3 7 8. So I will write what is that, 2 3 7 8. Okay, this example I have taken. Yeah, so 2 3 7 8 is sorted already. So 8 7 8 7. Okay. Okay, so what we are doing, we are here. So list 6 we have given this, and we are applying calling the function insertion sort. Then came here, and so initially I is 1, so I in range 1, so I starts with 1, and the length of list 4 1 2 4. So first initially the I is 1, temp value is 3. So at first index the value is 3. So you keep watching this, keep eye on that. So like temp is a value at ith index. So I is 1 here, so value at first index is 3. So temp is 3. Next j is 0, so j is I minus 1 0. Then you can check while loop condition was checked on while loop. This condition get false, list 4 jth index. So j is 0, so at 0 index 2 2 is more than temp. Yeah, here you can see easily, na? So at 0th index value is 2 2 is more than 3, no. So you can say red arrow went there. Okay, because this if condition is false for I is equal to 2. I is equal to 1. Initially it was I is equal to 1. So if condition is false, while condition is false, this condition. Again it will run for 2. So when I is 2, temp value is, so when I is 2, temp value is 8. Value at ith position. J is I minus 1, so J here is 1. When I is 2, J is 1. So we are doing second iteration now. I is 2, J is 1. And while J is more than equal to 0, yes, and list 4 at index J. So index J is 1. So at first index we have 3. So 3 is more than temp. Temp is 8. 3 is more than 8. No. So again this part is false. So it will go again. Next iteration. So I is 3 now. So I is 3. So temp is 7. This temp is 7. So this was a sorted part. That's why while loop didn't work there. Okay. On the sorted part, in the insertion sort, list has two parts: sorted part, unsorted part. So this while loop will work on unsorted part, and after that it will not work here. So we are just try to fit that elements values in the unsorted part in the sorted part. Okay. So again we'll check temp value is 7 and J is 2 here. So at second index value is 8. 8 is more than 7. Yes. So while condition gets true, so this part will be implemented. And when J is 2, so at third index value at second index, that value will be assigned. So at second index we have 8. 8 will be assigned to third index. The value at second index will be assigned at the value third index. So 8 will be shifted one right. So 8 will be shifted. Check here. 8 went here. Check. 8 went here. And where is 7? 7 is currently stored in the temp. 7 is currently stored in the temp. And now what we are doing? J get decreased by 1, and then again J is 1. So list at J plus 1, 2. So at second index you are assigning temp. At second index you are assigning temp. So temp is 7. So 7 is assigned to second index, that is 7. So now you get the sorted list. And now loop, you know so loop completed, for loop completed, and then at last you are getting this sorted list. Okay, so you can do this manually also. You can see here on Python tutor outcome. Rest part also, like the selection sort also you can see, bubble sort also you can see, and then insertion sort also you can see. Okay, so I will tell you to first write this code, then we'll discuss more. You may write some other details. Okay, suppose I write this, then 4678, yeah. So please write this code and check if you are getting. So when you write, you can write in chat, okay? So I think so you're done. Okay, so let me continue. Rituraj, okay, Rituraj, हो गया?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think you have done okay, no problem. So I will ask others to say. Rohan, so I'm taking attendance, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Arshdeep,
Yes, sir.
Rahul, आंचल,
Yes, sir. Done.
Yes,
राहुल हो
sir.
गया ठीक है अभी अटेंडेंस ले लेते हैं पहले फिर दिन आई विल आस्क हर्षराज
सर वो राहुल
यस सर।
चैटर्जी की चक्रवर्ती बोले आप?
राहुल चटर्जी
ओ, हम चक्रवर्ती है।
ओके ठीक है हर्षराज
प्रेजेंट सर।
ओके राहुल चक्रवर्ती नाउ ओके
Sir and Achal Naik.
हाँ ठीक है आंचल प्रेजेंट ओके
Okay.
अभिजीत कोमल प्रिया अभिप्सा
Yes, sir.
अभिषेक
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
सुमन आयुष
Present, sir.
अभिस्मान शर्मिला
Present, sir.
प्रेरणा
Present, sir.
सुवानी
Present, sir.
नीलम अनिर्बन प्रांजल रुचि
Sir, Anirban now present, sir.
अनिर्बन ओके
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
रुचि सिंह, राहुल, प्रीतीश, एलिसा, सचिन,
प्रेजेंट सर।
प्रयाग, रामाकांत,
प्रेजेंट सर।
यश पटनायक,
Present, sir.
अनिकेत,
प्रेजेंट सर।
अमलान ज्योति, हिमांशु, हंसराज, अयाज बेग,
Present. Hello.
हिमांशु बोल रहा हूँ।
Sir Himanshu present.
हाँ, हिमांशु प्रेजेंट, ठीक है। हंसराज, अयाज बेग, अपूर्व, करीना,
Present, sir.
पुष्कल राज, हर्ष सिन्हा,
प्रेजेंट सर।
अंकिता,
Present, sir.
रोहित।
यस सर।
ओके, तो अभी
सर
सर शिवम कुमार।
शिवम कुमार, ओके। शिवम,
सर राहुल चैटर्जी।
संगम कुमार।
एक मिनट रुको, राहुल चटर्जी का हो गया।
सर
शिवम कुमार हो गया। अनस मुराद, ठीक है।
सर राहुल कुमार।
राहुल, एक मिनट रुक जाओ, राहुल चटर्जी हो गया है। राहुल कुमार
सर
का
राहुल
देखता हूँ।
कुमार
यस सर।
देखता हूँ, एक मिनट।
सर राहुल चैटर्जी हो
हाँ,
गया।
राहुल कुमार हो गया, ठीक है। हाँ,
हंसराज सर।
मनीष राज।
एक मिनट, मैं एब्सेंटी का नाम बोल देता हूँ, तो उनमें से बता देना जो होगा, जो लोग अभी एबसेंट है। अलेक्जेंडर एबसेंट है, साहिल गुप्ता, उज्जवल जमुआर, संग्राम,
सर संगम प्रेजेंट।
संग्राम प्रेजेंट, ओके। एबसेंटी बोल रहा हूँ मैं, ठीक है, जो एबसेंट है उनका नाम। पुष्पांजलि, मनीष राज,
सर मनीष प्रेजेंट।
प्रेजेंट, ओके। देन अभिजीत साहू, एबसेंट है, ठीक है ना। कोमल प्रिया, सुमन मोर, देन अभिस्मान सरकार, नीलम कुमारी,
Sir Neelam Kumari present.
ओके। रुचि सिंह, देन प्रीतीश कुमार, एलिसा, दीज आर एबसेंट, ओके। प्रयाग, एंड देन अमलान ज्योति, एबसेंट। हंसराज,
हंसराज प्रेजेंट सर।
ओके। अयाज बेग, एबसेंट। अपूर्व, देन पुष्कल राज, ठीक है। So now this is insertion sort, so I think you have written, so we'll share screen. So जो लोग बाद में आए हैं वो लोग, हने अनस मुराद, so have you done this insertion sort, this program?
सर कर रहे हैं सर।
तुम लोग खाली अटेंडेंस के लिए आते हो, और कौन है? सुमन मोर,
नहीं सर,
हाँ जी सुमन मोर,
ऐसा
तुम
बात
ये
नहीं।
स्क्रीन शेयर करो, फिर अटेंडेंस मिलेगा। फिर अटेंडेंस के बाद जो लोग आ रहे हैं उनको अटेंडेंस अभी मिलेगा। So Suman More, if you share a screen, then if you have done this program, I will give you attendance. So you can share a screen and show this code. स्टार्टिंग में होते हैं कितने लोग, 20-25 लोग, अभी चलो अभी भी कम ही है। हाँ जी, तो एनी वन ऑफ देम कैन प्रेजेंट, आई मीन शेयर स्क्रीन, लाइक सुमन मोर या अनस मुराद या राहुल कुमार या नीलम कुमारी, so these people can present, any one of them can share screen.
Yes, sir, I am sharing.
Okay. Okay. 4, 6, 7, 8. Fine. Okay. Thank you, Nilam. Okay. Okay, so today I just discussed insertion sort and that bubble sort, and actually selection sort we discussed in last class also. So these three sorting technique we have done. Then next will in the next class I will start searching. So in searching we have to see two searching technique like linear search and binary search. Okay, then again two more sorting technique we have, merge sort and then quick sort. So these two, then this chapter will finish. Okay. I think I will stop here only today. We'll meet in next class and we'll start searching. Okay. So thank you. We'll meet in next class.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.